I never believed giant squids could hold the key to the Bermuda Triangle's mysteries. But that was before the ocean tried to swallow me whole. I will never forget the day everything fell apart. The waves crashed against the boat, angry and relentless. My heart raced, each wave a reminder of my fragile existence. I grasped the railing, my hands trembling, my breath shallow. We were out there, just a small group of us, searching for the truth hidden beneath the dark waters. That's when we spotted it. It was massive, a shadow deeper than the ocean itself, gliding just beneath the surface. The crew gasped, eyes wide, fear mingling with awe. The legendary giant squid. I felt my skin prickling. What if this creature was more than just myth? What if it held secrets we couldn't fathom? We had come to unravel the Bermuda Triangle's enigma. Ships vanishing, planes disappearing into thin air. An area wrapped in ghost stories and whispered legends. Why had so many gone missing? What lurked beneath the waves? I thought of my family waiting for me back home, their faces blurring in my mind, each heartbeat a reminder of my promise to return. Just then, a shrill scream cut through the chaos. Water splashed wildly, a panic erupting among the crew. Something was wrong. The boat lurched, nearly capsizing. I clung tighter, terror gripping my chest. Another giant form broke through the surface, thrashing and writhing. We were surrounded. My heart pounded as I watched the creatures dance in the water, their tentacles like shadows of death reaching out. I struggled to make sense of it all. Why were they aggressive? Were they protecting something? My mind raced with questions. Just then, one of the crew pointed to the horizon, the sun setting blood-red, casting an eerie glow over the sea. And in that moment of confusion, I saw it. The swirling vortex forming in the distance, a darkness pulling us closer. We were about to discover something unimaginable. My gut twisted. A lump lodged in my throat. I knew then that our pursuit of answers might cost us everything. Hey! Before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The ocean roared around us, a tempest of sound and fury that seemed intent on swallowing us whole. My heart pounded in my chest, a frenzied drumbeat matching the chaos of the sea. We were caught in a maelstrom, our boat rocking precariously beneath us as the dark waters surged and swelled. Fear clutched at my throat, but beneath the fear lay another, quieter emotion. A deep-rooted curiosity that was impossible to suppress. I could see it now, the swirling vortex growing larger as waves crashed violently against the hull. The giant squids, once fabled and mythical, now surrounded us, their immense bodies gliding with an otherworldly grace. My mind struggled to catch up with reality. These ancient creatures, guardians of the abyss, were now a living part of our journey. We were no longer mere explorers. We were intruders in their domain. Hold on, I shouted to the crew, my voice drowned in the tumult. We needed to secure the equipment, but as I turned to face my team, I saw the terror etched on their faces. James, our lead researcher, was frozen, his eyes wide with disbelief. Sarah, the marine biologist, was gripping her notebook tightly, her knuckles white. Everyone had come here seeking answers, but now the weight of that desire felt like a stone anchoring us to the depths. Suddenly, a colossal appendage emerged from the water, curling around the stern of our boat, and I felt the icy tendrils of fear wrapping around me like the squid's grasp. We were being pulled closer to the vortex, the darkness unfolding like a maw ready to consume us. My breath hitched. The seductive mystery of the Bermuda Triangle was about to reveal its darker implications. Just then, an unexpected flash of light flickered from the depths. The swirling dark water shimmered briefly, and in that instant, clarity struck. Perhaps this vortex was not solely a perilous void, but a gateway to something beyond recognition. Hope pierced the veil of fear fluttering within me like a fragile flame. "Look!" I shouted, pointing at the luminous glow. The crew steadied themselves, drawn to the strange, ethereal light that flickered and shimmered, dancing gracefully as if inviting us into the depths. I could see the fire of curiosity ignite in their eyes. Even amidst the dread, we were torn between the fear of the unknown and the thrill of discovery. Before I could process my next move, a second shadow burst to the surface, but this one was different. Instead of thrashing violently, it seemed to calm the chaos around us. A giant squid, its skin shimmering in iridescent hues, rose slowly as if surveying us, its enormous, intelligent eyes locking onto mine. Despite my terror, I felt a strange connection, as if the creature could sense my thoughts, my fears, my desperate desire for understanding. "Can it hear us?" Sarah whispered, her voice trembling yet tinged with wonder. "2 don't know," I murmured, transfixed by the creature's gaze. "But maybe it wants to communicate." In that moment, as I searched for words, the wind shifted, and the vortex pulsed harder, pulling at us with renewed ferocity. The giant squid began to swim around our boat, a mesmerizing spectacle of power and grace that captivated everyone on board. I felt hope sprout within me, but doubt clung to the edges of my thoughts. Were we being lured to safety or disaster? The tension was palpable as the creature dove beneath us, stirring the waters in a call to action. A rumble resonated through the boat, and I realized the true challenge had only just begun. Would we dare to follow? And just when I thought we might find clarity, a piercing screech echoed from the horizon, freezing me in place. A fleet of shadowy figures emerged from the distant clouds, streaking towards us like arrows of darkness. My throat tightened as I recognized the distinct shapes of aircraft, but not any aircraft. These were old, cloaked in the very legends we had come to investigate. Planes that had vanished years ago, re-emerging into our reality as if thrust forward in time. "Are those?" James started, but the questions hung in the air like an unsaid prayer, the weight of unanswered mysteries bearing down. We were about to plunge headfirst into a conflict that could uncover not just the secrets of the Bermuda Triangle, but perhaps the truths we'd buried in our own hearts. And as the canvas of night deepened and the first stars blinked into existence, I realized how little we truly understood about the sea, the squids, and ourselves. Against the backdrop of the unknown, I felt a single, shattering truth emerge. The ocean wasn't just a thief of lives. It was a keeper of secrets, and we were on the verge of unveiling something incredibly powerful. As we braced for the future, a swell of emotion flooded through me: fear, wonder, and a gnawing sense of dread, all twisted together, coiling tight. And then, the world shifted, darkness unfurling around us, like a great swallow preparing to engulf us whole. The screech of the aircraft sliced through the tumult, reverberating in my bones long after the sound faded. My heart raced as I fought to comprehend the scene before me, this horrifying contrast of ancient marvels and ghostly intrusions. The squids swirled around us, their movements becoming frantic, almost defensive. In an instant, the light that had sparked our hope dimmed, eclipsed by an overwhelming sense of peril. "Steady," I barked, trying to maintain some semblance of order, despite the rising panic. "We need to get the equipment secured." But my own voice trembled, a crack in my facade, reflective of my frayed nerves. I watched as the crew scrambled, their eyes darting between the looming darkness in the sky and the mesmerizing leviathans gliding through the waves beneath us. Just as I grabbed the ropes to tether our gear, a massive wave rocked the boat violently, and all my focus shattered. The overpowering smell of salt and danger overwhelmed me as I braced myself against the railing. It was an embodiment of every unanswered question, every ghost of regret I had ever harbored. If we pulled through the storm, what truths about ourselves and our pasts awaited us in those depths? The first of the shadowy aircraft passed overhead, revealing fragmented silhouettes of men, or rather skeletal figures barely visible through the mist. Suits damaged from years lost to time, eyes hollowed beneath plastic visors betraying a glimmer of desperate sentience. My thoughts spiraled down a dark tunnel, full of the horrifying realization of a fate that awaited those who disappeared in the triangle. Were they cursed to haunt the very waters we now explored? Are they real? Sarah whimpered, clutching my arm with fingers that felt numb. Her voice quivered. I shared her fear visions of failed expeditions and missing people etched themselves in my mind. Yet simultaneously, the words of every story I had absorbed surged to life, weaving a thread of optimism within the specter of despair. Perhaps these souls were here to warn us, to guide us away from the brink of a similar destiny. Stay close, I ordered. If they're trying to communicate, but my own hope floundered as the second aircraft drew nearer, the dark shapes becoming clearer, vivid and unsettling. As it swept down, I caught sight of a man standing at the open door, a long, tattered scarf billowing behind him. A face twisted with rage and desperation. Turn back. His voice echoed, carried by the wind, laced with a tone that was both pleading and accusatory. You must not seek the truth. The depths do not yield their secrets lightly. There was an urgency in his warning that sent chills cascading through me. The giant squids recoiled, responding to the shout as if anticipating a change in the tide. They shifted, their tentacles wrapping protectively around our boat, shielding us from the nebulous threat above. A strange bond grew between us. The fear they enacted merged with the urgency of my mission. I think he knows, I shouted to my crew as I stared into the man's eyes. He's one of them. He must have been lost here. But a flicker of doubt gnawed at me. How could I trust a voice emanating from the nightmare of countless vanished crews? Before any of us could react, the first aircraft banked sharply, angling its path toward the vortex. Another wave crashed against our boat, and the squids released their grip, drawn toward the turmoil illuminating the abyss below. Are we really considering following? James asked, his voice strained but resolute. I could sense the struggle in his soul mirroring mine. Should we dare delve into whatever truths lay hidden, or was the knowledge we sought better left undisturbed? No, I replied, my heart wrestling with indecision. We need to remain here, not just for ourselves but for them. I gestured toward the looming forms above us, an indistinct reminder of those lost, floating in the gravity between time and fate. We can't allow their fate to claim another crew. We formed a huddle, dread and determination igniting in the electric air. But even as I felt the creeping strength of solidarity rising within us, an ominous twist emerged. The third aircraft materialized, swift and ghostly, and from its base, a glimmer of light shot down, illuminating an intricate sigil atop the water's surface, a language written not in words, but in the very fabric of the ocean's depth. For a heartbeat, the world stood still. Curiosity intermingled with the piercing awareness of risk. A riddle swelled in my chest. What did it mean? In response, the squids seemed to synchronize, spiraling as if igniting a dormant bond with the light. Before I could reckon with this new revelation, the world lurched beneath us. The rest of my thoughts vanished as the vessel creaked violently, the familiar atmosphere twisting into something foreign. My breath hitched, and before I knew it, we were all caught in the grip of chaos, and its harrowing truth loomed just beneath the surface, with the colossal squid pulling us alongside. The bright sigil pulsated beneath our boat, and the shadows of what could have been began to encroach around us, swirling in a dance of desperation and fateful decision. I felt a profound truth resonating deep within. Something monumental was about to be unveiled, and we were on the very edge of discovery or destruction. And as we plummeted deeper into the embrace of the unknown, hope and fear clashed within me, threatening to eclipse my spirit, while the laughter and whispers of the damned echoed through the rush of water and wind. The revelation that we had been seeking perhaps wasn't just about the ocean's mysteries, but the hidden corners of our own lost souls, and the haunting thought glimmered painfully. Was there truly a way back from what we were about to encounter? The descent into the aquatic abyss was unlike anything I had anticipated. The world above faded into a remote memory, swallowed by the overwhelming darkness that enveloped us. My heart pounded in a syncopated rhythm against my ribs, each beat a reminder of the fragility of our existence. The magic of the ocean, the ancient mysteries it held, was both beautiful and terrifying. Stripped of the comforting sounds of the wind and the creaking of our ship, we were surrounded by an eerie symphony of deep-sea echoes. The iridescence of the sigil underneath illuminated the path before us, casting shadows that danced on the hull like anguished spirits yearning for liberation. But beneath that vibrant glow lay an unknowable darkness, and it was consuming us whole. "Hold tight," I shouted to my crew, my voice barely penetrating the water's heavy shroud. Fear gnawed at my insides, but I couldn't afford to show weakness. I glanced around at the faces of my comrades, each etched with equal parts unease and determination. We were obfuscated by the unknown while driven by the pulse of something uncanny. Then, as we plunged deeper, the silhouettes of the squids surrounded us like guardians in a spectral ballet. They twisted and twirled, their long tentacles embracing our vessel, reconciling the delicate balance of power and peace. I realized their vibrant colors shifted more intensely under the sigil's light, as if they were responding to some ancient sun-gone invocation to the very essence of the Bermuda Triangle itself. "Daddy-o, you feel that?" Sarah whispered, her eyes wide with awe and fear. "It's like they're alive, like they know something we don't." I nodded, struggling against the disarming pulse of anxiety tightening my chest. What could these creatures unveil? I had lived for the thrill of discovery, but I was beginning to lose sight of what that truly meant. We were embarking on a path lined with shadows, where truth and madness intertwined as if summoned by our collective uncertainty. A low rumble resonated through the depths. The waters around us began to swirl, and I felt the grip of the squids tightening, creating a cocoon of safety. Yet with that safety came a new kind of fear, the kind that urged us to question the very nature of our purpose. Were we meant to enter this fluid sanctuary, or were we trespassers on sacred ground? Then a figure emerged, not from the depths but from inside my own Minda face I hadn't seen in years. Yet the familiarity haunted me in ways I couldn't decipher. Ethan, my estranged brother, a specter of lost familial ties, reaching out across the canyon of our history. His eyes, once bright and full of life, were now filled with shadows almost as deep as the ocean itself. "Raven," he said, his voice mingling with the symphony of the ocean, distorted yet clear enough to cut through my thoughts. "You need to let go of the past. You can't find what's lost when you hold onto the weight of regret." His words shuddered through me like a jolt, grappling with the very essence of my quest. I could feel the remnants of sorrow and guilt coursing through my veins, a reminder of all the unsaid words and unhealed wounds between us. But here, in this profound darkness, faced with the depths of despair, could I truly confront it all? Suddenly, a bright flash illuminated the water, an explosive radiance that revealed intricate designs on the ocean floor, remnants of civilizations long forgotten, enveloped in coral and mystery. The sigil pulsed with new energy, as if resonating with my emotions. The squids, seemingly attuned to the depths of my heart, spiraled in coordination, a dance of fate urging me to tread onward. "Raven." Sarah's voice pierced my reverie. I turned, the depth of my tumultuous thoughts dwindling as I saw her face wash over in hues of desperation. "The light, it's responding to us." Every fiber of my being ignited with resolve. Perhaps this wasn't merely an investigation into the Bermuda Triangle's enigma, but a journey inward, a chance to stitch together the fragments of our lives that had disintegrated over time. A chance for redemption anchored in unconditional acceptance both of our past loves and our long-buried traumas. As the sigil sparkled with newfound fervor, I could almost hear the whispers of the lost souls beckoning us closer. They urged us to confront what lay beneath the ocean and inside our hearts. We were not alone in this journey. Together, perhaps we could uncover the intertwined legacies of both the living and the departed. But just as a flicker of hope pierced the veils of despair, the vessel jolted violently. Panic swept over us like a tidal wave, and I struggled to regain my balance. The squids, now more distressed, contorted erratically as the unsettling sound of laughter permeated the air, the haunting laughter of those who dwelled in the shadows. "Raven." Sarah's scream echoed as the world twisted around us. Darkness loomed ahead, a growing thunderclap reverberating through the water, an impending shift that threatened to fracture our fragile unity. A realization struck me. Cold and heavy, whatever awaited us below demanded a sacrifice, a reckoning for the truths we were determined to uncover. And as the abyss yawned open beneath the vessel, I faced the hardest truth of all. Would I be ready to confront Ethan, to confront myself, and emerge transformed, or would the darkness consume us all, leaving nothing but echoes of our haunted existence? The vessel rattled like a caged bird a stark, jolting reminder of the peril we faced beneath the waves. My heart raced as I clung to the railing, the laughter that penetrated the dark waters growing louder like a twisted lullaby. Sarah's panicked face became a kaleidoscope of emotions, terror mingling with determination, a reflection of my own fractured spirit. "Raven, we need to do something," she pleaded, her voice vulnerable through the gurgling sounds of the ocean's maw. A swirling mass of color danced around us. The squids, far from the guardians they had appeared to be, were now swirling in chaotic patterns, as if caught in an unsettling trance. Their luminous hues shifted from vibrant blues to murky shadows, a visceral manifestation of the turmoil brewing within and around us. It was as if they sensed our fear, amplifying it through their own desperate cries. "What if they're trying to protect us?" I suggested, though even I didn't believe my own words. The grip of disbelief tightened its hold on my heart as I realized that the deeper we descended, the louder the laughter grew. Or maybe they're warning us of something worse. Sarah's voice trembled, the uncertainty lacing her words deeply unsettling. The water shimmered, then rippled violently as a new revelation unfurled. A hazy memory surfacing in my mind. Ethan's face morphed into a mirage, a reminder not just of our lost connection, but of the choices that spiraled out of control, tying shadows to my heart. As the darkness reverberated through the mass of us, a memory awakened. His laughter, careless and light, echoed through the summer days of our childhood, a song we once sang together. "Ethan," I whispered, clenching my fists, "what did you mean about letting go of the past?" His voice, lingering in my memory, urged me to navigate through the chaos of my fears. Just when I thought I could seize the fragments of courage, the vessel jerked violently, the metal groaning in protest. Panic surged anew, drowning out any lingering resolve. I turned to Sarah, whose gaze flickered towards the strange light festooning the ocean floor, revealing something monumental, an ancient structure that loomed like a tomb. "Look!" she exclaimed, a mixture of awe and terror. "It's like a gateway." As the luminescence enveloped the area, I noticed strange symbols aligning with the sigil's pulse. In that moment of clarity, a voice whispered through the waters, beckoning me. My heart received a calling that felt deeply intertwined with Ethan's presence. The deeper we went, the more distorted time felt. Was he truly present, or was it merely the manifestation of my guilt? Regardless, I felt a push to earn his forgiveness and give it to myself. "Raven, we need to make a decision." Sarah interrupted my spiraling thoughts. "We can't stay here. We must either swim towards that gateway or break free from whatever this is." I could hear the tension in her voice, a feeling I shared but didn't fully comprehend. I steeled my nerves, grasping for an anchor amid the chaos. But what if that gateway holds the key? Or it could lead us to our doom? She shouted back, fear and defiance battling within her eyes. "What's worth dying for, Raven? A place that nearly destroyed us once." Those words cut, sharper than any aquatic nightmare. My thoughts turned inward again, invoking echoes of battle-worn memories, not just of Ethan, but of every person I had lost through the years, each one a thread in a tapestry I sought to unweave. My reflection blurred with their faces, ghostly reminders of love lost and love required to be set free. "I don't know what to do," I admitted, the tremor in my voice revealing my mounting dread. "But I do know we have to make a choice now." Just as despair threatened to envelop us completely, a glimmer of hope broke through the choking darkness. A sudden burst of light, brighter and warmer than before, washed over us. The squids responded, their bodies shimmering like fireflies, creating a visual symphony that began to soothe my troubled heart. "Maybe they want us to follow?" Sarah suggested, her earlier fear dimming, replaced by the glimmer of possibility. "It's like they're leading us." Yet deep inside, a gnawing uncertainty unfurled. What if this pathway led us not to answers, but another layer of darkness? The laughter echoed again, sinister and hollow, swirling into my mind like a tempest. I had a fleeting hope that this alignment of creatures, this spiritual dance might guide us, Yet I remained burdened by the weight of what I would have to face. Should I choose to follow Sarah? I murmured. Whatever happens down there, I swallowed hard, unsure of how to voice the dread of my acceptance. I may need to confront Ethan to free us both. She grasped my shoulder, her touch grounding against the chaotic current surrounding us. Then, well faced that together, she affirmed, the strength in her eyes igniting the last flicker of conviction within me. And that moment, before the colossal shadow of the ancient structure consumed our thoughts, I inhaled deeply. Either we would uncover the mysteries of the Bermuda Triangle, or we could succumb to its darkness. But like the splitting currents of the ocean, we could only navigate this storm together. As we swam forward towards the pulsating light and the whispering shadows of the gateway, my heart raced with both fear and newfound courage. Whatever waited below would test our limits, our truths, and ultimately reveal if the past could be forgiven or if we were meant to be consumed, just like the countless souls lost within the watery depths. And then, just as we approached the threshold, the laughter roared, echoing louder than ever, a chaotic symphony bidding us to trust or perish in the shadows of our own making. The gateway loomed larger as we drew closer, an entrance into an abyss where light mingled with darkness in a maddening dance. My heart beat a frantic tattoo in my chest, an echo of the souls lost to this watery expanse. The whispers intensified, urging me to plunge forward, blurring the lines of reality as they rose like a tide around you. Do you think we're ready for this? Sarah's voice came softly, tinged with doubt, as we hovered just beyond the threshold. Her eyes reflected the shimmering hues of the squids, but beneath the surface, I could see the flicker of fear still flickering like a candle flame. There's no going back, I replied, even as a knot of dread tightened in my stomach. This is our chance to find out what lies beyond. That was the mantra I clung to, but uncertainty gnawed at the edges of my resolve as we crossed the threshold. A surge of warmth enveloped us, like an underwater embrace, washing over the fear that had wrapped so tightly around my heart. Within the gateway, the world shifted. A kaleidoscope of vibrant pigments swirled, disorienting yet oddly comforting. And then, amid the riot of colors, we saw it. A gigantic mural etched into the cavern walls, depicting scenes of ancient mariners facing titanic storms and celestial bodies, their expressions a mix of awe and terror. This is incredible, Sarah breathed, her fear momentarily forgotten. Do you think they were trying to communicate? Or maybe they're warnings? I countered, my gaze drawn to a symbol that bore an eerily familiar resemblance to the sigil from my memories. Perhaps this is what Ethan meant when he spoke of letting go. It's not just our past. It's about understanding the forces we're tangled in. The laughter echoed again, more pronounced, vibrating in the very core of my being. It mingled with the images before us, seeping into my thoughts, weaving riddles of love and loss. A sudden wave of despair crashed over me. Ethan's face flickered into focus, juxtaposed against the vibrant colors. His laughter, once joyful, twisted into something haunting, twisting my heart as it did during my darkest nights. Raven. Sarah waved a hand in front of my dazed expression, jolting me back. Don't lose yourself in the past. We have to figure out what this means. What if it means I need to face him? I whispered, feeling more vulnerable than ever. The connection to Ethan felt thick, heavy with unresolved emotions. What if all of this is leading me to him? Her eyes softened, but a flicker of concern crossed her face. What happens if that confrontation doesn't go the way you hope? If you can't find peace? That question hung in the air, heavy with implications. What would happen if I found not forgiveness, but rage? If the chaos of our past could resurrect the pain I thought I had left behind? Suddenly, the mural pulsed with life, vibrant colors swirling as if responding to my inner turmoil. Symbols transformed, shifting before my eyes into the forms of the lost, the faces of friends, family, and strangers haunting the depths. A kaleidoscope of those who had drowned beneath the waves of grief, all converging on the singular notion of letting go. Let's not stay too long, Sarah urged, pulling me closer as we ventured deeper into the chasm-like heart of the cavern. We have to keep moving forward. But the murmurings of regret caught up with me. What if this is a trap? A way to ensnare us in our own memories? What if a trap requires faith in something that binds us, She cut in, her voice clear through the looming shadows. Trust me when I say we can't give into that darkness. Let's uncover the truth together. Taking a breath, I nodded, letting her words buoy my spirit. But that flicker of hope was short-lived. As we rounded a bend, the colors became muted, the laughter fading into a dissonant symphony of cries. And there, in an opening filled with dim blue light, lay something that froze my breath. A massive squid, larger than any I had ever known, hovered ominously, its tentacles swirling through the water as if grasping for something unseen. It was majestic and terrifying, a creature of nightmares woven with the beauty of oceanic grace. Raven Sarah's voice quivered again, shadowed in awe and fear. What is that? I couldn't answer. The sight of the creature tugged at something deep within me, awakening whispers long asleep. The symbol from before danced over the squid's skin, pulsing with an ancient rhythm, as if it too understood the weight of history and the power of forgiveness. Just as the realization surged, could this creature hold the key to unlocking our burdens? The squid's eyes locked onto mine, a cavern of memories swirling within. An essence I recognized, but couldn't quite grasp. Ethan? Before I could draw breath, the squid lunged, a swirl of colors trailing behind it, dragging me swiftly downwards. Darkness surrounded me as I plunged deeper, tangling me within its embrace, as pieces of the past broke free, threatening to consume me whole. But in that instant, as the abyss opened its jaws wide and the laughter crescendoed, the familiar voice rang loud and true, a call to not let go but to embrace. I felt a rush of movement, tightening around my heart, pulling me towards the truth I had avoided for so long. Raven. Sarah's voice was barely a whisper beneath the crushing pressure of consequences. Are you ready? Above the currents, in the shadows where truth resided, hope flickered amidst the chaos as I faced the uncertain depths of my own soul, teetering on the precipice of revelation and despair. Whatever awaited us at the bottom, whatever answers or chaos, was about to reshape the very fabric of the worlds we thought we knew. The darkness enveloped me like a sudden storm, heavy and stifling. I felt the chilly grip of the abyss around my lungs, a stark reminder of my own mortality. Still, the echoes of laughter surged within me, spiraling into a cacophony that blurred the lines between waves of memory and impending reality. I was falling deeper into the sea, deeper into the realm of memories I'd so desperately tried to escape. With every rush of water, the visage of Ethan materialized, his smile radiant against the darkness, juxtaposed with glimpses of loss and betrayal. Fragments of our shared past cascaded around me like shards of glass, some sharp enough to cut, others smooth, glimmering with warmth. Raven. Sarah's frantic voice broke through the depths, anchoring me with warmth while the cold pressed in. Hold on. I'm coming. What if I couldn't hold on? My heart raced, a tempest of panic mixed with longing. I could almost taste Ethan's laughter, the sweetness tainted by the salt of tears shed in silence. This creatura, harbinger of what I feared, yet somehow familiar, beckoned me to confront the very essence of our entanglement. Before I could spiral further into despair, I was jerked from my thoughts as the squid's tendrils wrapped around my waist, steadying me. Its eyes bored deep into my own, a mirror reflecting my turmoil, my heartache, and raw longing for closure. The pulsing sigil etched upon its skin flickered and glowed, as if each beat resonated with the pulse of that potent flame buried deep within Meth's desire to forgive. A rush of images flooded my mind, turbulent memories of laughter and shared dreams juxtaposed with piercing betrayals and the hollow ache of loss. Ethan. I called out, my voice nearly swallowed by the darkness. But the weight of his absence loomed as large as the creature that surrounded me. I squeezed my eyes shut, forcing the flood of emotions to collide into something coherent. I needed to confront these feelings, to untangle them from the knots that bound my heart. Why did you leave me? I murmured, hoping the mere act of acknowledgement could somehow bridge the gap between us, an invisible thread connecting the living with the echoes of the lost. Suddenly, a flash of light surged within the squid, illuminating the void around us. The tendrils tightened once more, not in a cruel grip but as a gentle embrace, urging me to stay grounded, to confront my pain, while gently guiding me through the memories I had buried. Through the shadows, a shimmering vision formed. Ethan and I were together, laughing on a sunlit beach, our hearts interwoven with dreams of the future. The joy erupted within me almost painfully. But as quickly as it brightened, the scene twisted. His absence weighed heavily upon that laughter as the image flickered to moments I never wanted to relive. Harsh words, misunderstandings, the day he walked away. Raven. Sarah's voice disrupted the crushing weight of sorrow, a lifeline thrown into turbulent waters. You need to fight. Don't let this darkness pull you under. Hope flickered, a fragile ember against the storm. Shaking off the remnants of despair, I opened my eyes. The majestic squid hovered closer, an unintelligible knowledge shimmering in its gaze, and I realized then the creature wasn't an enemy, but a conduit, a link between my pain and the path to healing. Ethan, I cried, and the warmth of his name surged through me like an electric current, seeking the power to push through the shadows of regret. I need you to hear me. As if responding to my call, the heartfelt connection ignited the vibrant sigil on the creature's skin, sending ripples through the water, illuminating the cavern with a radiant glow. I could almost hear the whispers of lost souls rising up, their music intertwining with mine, beckoning me to let go of the burdens weighing me down. With every ounce of courage swirling within, I reached out, fingers grazing the squid's surface. In that instant, the mural's scenes flashed vividly in my mind. Mariners over stormy waters, seeking redemption amidst chaos. Maybe it's not about forgetting, I ventured, softly into the abyss, but learning to coexist with it. The moment I let that thought wash over me, a wave of understanding surged forth. I had been carrying the weight of anger and sorrow for too long. Just as the squid had embraced me with acceptance, I too could allow myself to embrace the past, letting it guide me instead of drowning me. Just then, another vision materialized, a glimpse not of Ethan but of Sarah, her unwavering strength piercing through the darkness. I'm right here, she assured, her voice echoing brighter than before. You don't have to face this alone. Before I could process her words, the water trembled around us. The squid maneuvered gracefully, guiding us towards a shimmering pathway illuminated by a warm glow. It felt unearthly, an invitation to venture deeper into whatever awaited us. But just as I was ready to step forth, the luminous beauty of the path dimmed. From the shadows emerged figures entwined in despair, faces I recognized. Friends lost, connections broken, past wounds made flesh. A pervasive dread gripped my heart as their whispers morphed into deafening cries. Raven, don't go, they pleaded, their yearning voices threading through the water, pulling me back from this chance at discovery. As they closed in, my heart raced. Would I be consumed by this past? Or could I forge a new path amid its shadows? Raven, Sarah's hand clutched mine, anchoring me amidst the chaos. We can't let them define us. We have a chance, we just need to believe. But as I turned to face the darkness, shadows danced with relentless vigor. Just at the edge, a flicker of movement caught my eye, and the vision of a man flickered within. Ethan's silhouette lost in the depths, caught in a maelstrom of memories. Could he truly be the key to unearthing the truths of the Bermuda Triangle? Or was this an illusion meant to ensnare my soul? With the echoes of the past swirling fiercely around us, I had to decide, would I succumb to the weight of longing that threatened to drag me under? Or could I fight for the promise of hope glimmering just within reach? The swirling darkness felt alive, a tempest of unyielding emotions and relentless memories pressing in from all sides. The figures of my past loomed larger, each one a reflection of choices made and paths untaken, their faces obscured yet hauntingly familiar. I could almost hear the echo of our laughter amidst the chowsit. Was a cruel reminder of what had been lost, and each face whispered hints of a love that had long since frayed. Raven, Sarah's voice sliced through the noise, a beacon amidst the storm. Her grip tightened around my hand, anchoring me, reminding me that I was not alone. Stay with me. We can break through this. I blinked back, tears, panic rising as memories clawed at my heart. Could I truly confront the shadowy figures before me, ghosts of my past I had fought so hard to forget? I felt Ethan's presence pulsing through me, an ache intermingled with warmth, threading through each lost memory and tainted joy. I wish I could see you, I whispered, the words barely escaping my lips. Just as the shadows began to close in, swallowing us in despair, the squid, with purposeful grace, unfurled its tentacles, creating a barrier between us and the figures lurking in the dark. The sigil on its skin pulsed, shooting bursts of light like fireworks, illuminating the water with swathes of gold and blue that painted the desolation with hope. It was as if the creature had come to lift a guardian against the very ghosts of my fears. Together, I repeated, squeezing Sarah's hand as newfound determination surged within me. We can navigate this. The squid moved forward, pulling us deeper along the glimmering pathway it had unveiled. The shadows hesitated, retreating momentarily as light cascaded around us, shaping the path ahead. Each flicker of illumination felt like a step towards understanding, a glimmer of what could be salvaged from the wreckage of my memories. Remember the times we fought through the storms? Sarah's voice was steadier now, a familiar anchor in a tumultuous sea. This is just another one. We have each other. Well, figure this out. As we ventured further, the path branched into mesmerizing corridors of memories, each one inviting yet daunting. One corridor shone particularly bright, and I wondered if it led to a moment I had buried deep the last time Ethan and I had faced each other, raw with unspoken feelings, two souls whispering amidst the tumult of a dying relationship. I can't go back there, I murmured, feeling the weight of that past moment press against my chest. I'm too afraid. The squid halted, the warm pulses of its sigil pressing gently against my back, a reminder that fear was merely an invitation to confront what I had evaded for too long. Encouraged by the creature's unwavering support, I took a deep breath and stepped into the corridor. As I entered, the scene unfolded in radiancy, a vivid reminder of that final conversation. The sunset wrapped around us like a tender embrace. I felt Ethan's presence as palpable as if he were standing right beside me, anger and affection swirling together. Raven, his voice echoed, choked with emotion. With every heartbeat, I could feel my walls starting to crumble. I had built them to protect myself from the pain, but now they felt more like chains binding me to a past that wasn't allowing me to move forward. Please don't go, I found myself pleading. I don't know how to keep living like this. The scene flickered rapidly between the warmth of our sweet moments and the bitterness of heartbreak. My heart raced, yearning to grasp the truth that lingered between the smiles and the tears. Just as I felt certain I was on the precipice of revelation, the scene began to distort, twisting and warping into fragments of despair. Raven, you have to confront it. Sarah's voice surged through the cacophony, shot through with urgency. Or we'll be stuck in this moment forever. But just then, something else emerged from the shadows, a flicker of familiarity, weaving through the chaos. Suddenly, a new voice joined in, distant yet resonant. You must believe, Raven. This moment holds the key. It was a voice, inextricably linked to my past, one I had longed to hear yet feared to acknowledge. It was Ethan's mother, the woman who had once held me close and whispered promises of love and hope into my ear. The truth lies within you. Embrace it and you shall find your way. Lightning coursed through my veins as her words echoed. It was a spark of illumination in an otherwise agonizing moment. Could it be? Could I still find solace in the love that had once surrounded me, despite the ache that echoed from our parting? But before I could respond to the call of hope, the shadows surged forward, disbanding the warmth that clung to my heart. Raven, let us stay together, they whispered, their haunting tones pleading with longing. You can't escape us. You belong in our embrace. As the figures converged once more, a sharp blade of panic pierced through my heart. Unseen tendrils coiled around my throat, drawing me closer to their despair. No, I shouted, struggling against the shackles that gripped my spirit. As I fought back, a surge of light erupted from the squid, its tendrils reaching out to intertwine with mine, binding us together in a shield of warmth. Raven. Sarah's voice eclipsed the darkness, a lighthouse slicing through the fog. Remember why you're fighting. But the pull of the past was strong, unraveling all sense of resolve. As I looked into the murky depths, my eyes locked onto the flicker of movement. Ethan was in there, lost but alive, reaching out to me through the veil of shadows. Please, I cried, desperation clawing at my throat. Don't let this pull us apart again. And just as the darkness threatened to consume me entirely, the squid unleashed a radiant burst, weaving memories into a tapestry of hope. Yet deep down, I felt the illusion dissolvia revelation haunted me as a thought pierced through the chaos. Would I have to choose? Would I have to sacrifice one for the other, the memories or the future? I teetered at the brink, heart pounding, between the warmth of potential reunion and the weight of his despair. In this swirling maelstrom of emotion, the choice to move forward began to crystallize. But the real battle loomed just beyond the threshold of illumination. And as the currents of my heart surged towards a revelation, a new shadow emerged from the depths, promising secrets that would turn this journey upside down forever. The shadows writhed, pulsating like a living tapestry woven from fear and desolation. I could feel their eyes upon me, each one a reminder of the choices that had led me here, an intricate web of paths I had tried to escape. But the squid, magnificent and steadfast, unfurled another wave of light, and for a heartbeat, I was suspended between the past and a future I desperately craved. "You can do this," Sarah whispered, her voice a bomb against the rising tide of panic threatening to drown me. "Trust yourself. Trust us." I turned to her, trembling yet resolute. What if I can't let go of what once brought me joy? What if I'm trapped in this endless cycle of grief? Sarah stepped closer, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "Joy and grief coexist, Raven. They're intertwined. But only by facing your past can you reclaim your future." She pointed ahead, toward the flickering path that extended infinitely into the depths. "You need to choose. You need to step into the light." Biting my lip, I felt the weight of the world bearing down on me. By choosing to confront this, I wasn't merely revisiting the past. I was inviting the chance of heartache anew, an excruciating dance with memories that could shatter my already fragile resolve. But deep within, the hope embedded in Sarah's voice ignited a flicker of strength. Perhaps, like the squid shielding us from the dark, I too could find fortitude in vulnerability. Taking a deep breath, I stepped forward. The glow intensified, enveloping me in warmth as I found myself standing once again in that familiar, sun-drenched clearing where Ethan once held me close, memories whispering like soft echoes through the shadows. The air shimmered with unspoken words, the heaviness of our final moments wreathed in sorrow. "Raven," Ethan's voice wove through the silence, rich and familiar, striking a chord within me. "You have to understand. I never wanted to hurt you." Memories surged, crashing through my consciousness like waves, each one a moment of laughter, love, and brittle pain. "But you did," I choked out, the bitterness rising in my throat. "You walked away, Ethan. You left me here to drown." His image twisted, the light beginning to flicker. "No, I wanted to protect you. From the chaos that surrounded our lives. From my demons. Can't you see I did? Did you even fight for us?" My heart raced, the phantom ache quickening. "Did you ever look back to see what you were leaving behind?" Silence enveloped us for what felt like an eternity, the weight between us shifting as he grappled with the reality of his choices. The world felt unstable, like a fragile kaleidoscope whose pieces could scatter with a gust of wind. But then I caught a glimmer of something amid the raw exchange in emotion that went beyond our tumultuous past. There was an earnest desperation in his gaze, a deep longing that clawed at the edges of my heart. "I've been lost too, Raven," he said softly, his vulnerability washing over me like a soothing balm. "My only regret is that I pushed you away instead of inviting you to fight alongside me." With every word, the tension in my chest eased just a fraction. In that moment, we were two souls battered by the cruel waves life had thrown our way, desperately reaching for the remnants of what could have been. But before I could grasp the significance of his words, shadows coiled around us, hungry for our doubt, our feeble attempts at connection. "Don't listen to him," they hissed, their voices a cacophony of despair. "You're choosing a path of pain, Raven. He's a ghost, a figment of your forgotten past." "Enough," I shouted, but doubt gnawed at my resolve. Was I truly ready to unearth this pain, to peel back the layers of my soul and confront the truth that lay stark beneath? And just then, through the chaos, a surge of unfamiliar energy erupted from the depths. A spiraling tendril of light burst towards us, illuminating the scene, pushing back against the darkness. From its brilliance, a figure emerged, Ethan's mother standing tall, a radiant embodiment of love and strength. "Raven," she spoke, her voice a gentle embrace. "You have the power to rewrite the narrative. Do not allow the shadows to dictate your fate. Your heart holds the key to forgiveness, not only for him but for yourself." The darkness hissed, struggling against the brilliance, flailing in frenzied panic. "She cannot forgive. She cannot love. She will drown in regret." But Ethan's mother continued, unwavering. "You must embrace the depths of your pain to break the cycle of despair. When you confront the shadows, you reclaim the light." With her words flooding my heart, the walls inched closer to crumbling. Could I forgive him? Could I forgive myself? As the agonizing knot of emotion unfurled within me, a glimmer of something unexpected sprouted, a sense of release. I could no longer deny the warmth that once filled my heart like sunlight. I reached for Ethan, despite the shadows hissing for me to retreat. "I want to understand. I want to find us again if we can. But it must be without fear. I cannot carry this pain alone." As I felt his presence once again, warmth engulfed me, an echo of a path I wasn't ready to let go of. Just as his hand brushed against mine, a deafening crash erupted, shaking the very foundation of our shared moment. The shadows writhed, desperate to pull me back, while the squid surged forward, illuminating the scene before me. "Raven," a voice screeched from the depths, a stranger's voice laced with fury and power. "You think you can simply break free of your chains? You were never meant to escape." I stumbled back, the new revelation crashing into my heart like a tidal wave. A new specter had emerged, one whose roots intertwined with the very fabric of my heartbreak. The truth began to unfurl like a dark flower blooming in poison, a hidden connection that threatened to unravel everything I thought I understood. As I braced myself against the firestorm brewing, Ethan's mother's presence anchored me, igniting an inner strength. It was a truth I had never wished to discover, but one I could no longer ignore. Choices had consequences, and for once, I was summoned not only to confront the specters of the past but the very nature of my beginning. "Raven," the new voice hissed again, wrapping itself around my thoughts. "It's time to face what you never wanted to know. You're closer to the heart of the mystery than you ever imagined." And as the truth laid itself bare before me, I shivered under the weight of certainty. This journey would not just test my love or my pain. It would unravel an entire world I had never believed existed, and at its core would be the greatest revelation of all. The vortex pulled me deeper, swirling the echoes of my past into a tempest. Shadows clamored for attention. Faces both fierce and familiar jostled for space in the corners of my mind. But through it all, one strong light broke the suffocating dark, the shimmering figure of the giant squid, unwavering and resolute. It coiled around me, holding me fast, a guardian against both fear and sorrow. "Raven," Ethan's voice surged through the chaos, resonant and profound. "You must choose. Fear has kept you shackled for too long. Embrace the truth, let it unfurl within you." His image flickered with every word, the pain in his eyes mingling with an unspeakable love as he beckoned me to delve deeper. I felt his presence crashing against the tormented whispers surrounding me. "You think you can simply break free?" hissed the shadows, their voices a dissonant wave threatening to drag me under. "You will never escape the consequences of your choices." But amid the raucous provocation, a fierce determination unfurled within me. Why was I fearing memories? The laughter, the love, the hurt, all of it shaped me. I had searched the depths of the Bermuda Triangle for answers, but maybe it was the catharsis I needed to forgive and reclaim the highs and lows of my journey. "And if I do forgive, what then?" I shouted, willing the shadows to listen, realizing more fragments of my heart were intertwined with the ancient tales hidden beneath waves. "Will it free me? Will it give us our happiness back?" "You cannot reclaim what has faded," the shadows sneered. "You serve only to awaken torment. You cannot heal." A wave of doubt washed over me. Their voice pulled at the remnants of despair that clung unyieldingly to my heart. What if healing meant reliving moments deeply buried? What if it would only sharpen the scars? But then, my eyes snapped shut, and I remembered the squids had guided me here. They understood the complexity of pain. They embodied it. Perhaps this journey promised more than I had ever dared to hope. In that moment of realization, I felt the squid tighten its grip, conveying strength I desperately needed. Let it all flow, embrace your fears, your memories, your losses, the creature seemed to whisper. Only by diving into the depths of your heart can you surface anew. I opened my eyes, the ambient light illuminating the creatures surrounding me. They were not enemies, but the carriers of forgotten truths, reflections of myself, brutal yet beautiful. Motioning forward, I stepped closer to Ethan's luminescent figure. I refuse to let you define who I am anymore, I proclaimed with fervor. You were part of my journey, but not the whole of it. I forgive you. With those words rising within me, reality shifted once more. The shadows recoiled, shrieking as if I had struck them down, unraveling the very thread of my doubts. Ethan blinked, the edges of despair softening, desperately wrapping his arms around me amid the radiant light. I never wanted to leave you, he confessed, his voice soft yet tumultuous. I was scared. The weight of my own demons drew me away, but I always loved you, Raven. I still do. The truth came crashing into my heart, illuminating the darkness that had lingered. You didn't let me fight with you. I carried your pain too, Ethan. I too was scared of losing you. The light swirled around us, thickening with each truth that escaped our lips, binding us within a web of understanding. I know now that the shadows are merely chapters we have to revisit, not chains but bridges to the path we have yet to pave, I said, feeling a heaviness lift from my chest. We lost so much, but that doesn't mean we can't reclaim ourselves. From the depths, the figure of Ethan's mother stepped forward, her warm smile radiating through the gloom. That's it, my dear. Healing lies not in denying the past but understanding it each moment. A point along your journey, as her words wrapped around us. The shadows began to dissipate, their voices retreating into whispers. The giant squid whirled around us, its tendrils unfurling not just in protection, but as a gesture of sacred acceptance, fully acknowledging our struggle. Finally freed from their grasp, I turned to Ethan, his eyes glistening with hope. If we can forgive ourselves, then maybe we can face anything together. Suddenly, a brilliant light erupted around us, colors swirling in a dance, brighter than the sun and vivid like the most beautiful memory. In its embrace, I felt the warmth of healing wash over me like a tidal wave. I no longer had to carry the weight of our heartbreak. Rather, I could transcend it, propelling myself into the future brimming with possibility. And together, hand in hand, we reached toward that glowing light, ready to embrace what lay beyond. In that moment, I understood. I wasn't merely reconnecting with the pieces of my heart. I was creating a new tapestry of hope from the beautifully tangled fibers of love, loss, and forgiveness. As we stepped through the luminous gateway, a sense of profound clarity emerged. A journey not just toward the mysteries of the sea, but the truths in our hearts. With each heartbeat, the weight of the ocean lifted as we forged a new reality grounded in acceptance. We have risen from our depths, Ethan, I whispered, the words echoing in the vast void. And this time, we won't let go. In that breathtaking moment, my heart soared. For the first time in what felt like an eternity, I was truly home, both above and below the waves, alive, free, and ready to embrace whatever stories awaited us beneath the shimmering surface of the waters we once feared.